what's going on? There we go. Finally. We've had this thing for like 3 weeks, this Sany 32 double Z boom. And finally we get a job where we get to stretch the boom out and pump some decent volume through a tip hose. We've had all kinds of little residential pours where we've had the boom snaked into a parkade ramp, but I haven't yet had a chance to stretch it out and see how it is, pumping some mud at a decent volume through the boom. So the boom does that, right? Hopefully it does that, not this, just that. We'll see. But anyhow, we finally get a chance to do this. So I got Mike coming out with me today. We're gonna get Mike familiar with the Sany, and we've got, it's not a huge job. It's something like just over 100 cubic meters for a little piece of suspended deck. It is, I believe, 14-inch thick. So we will get some opportunity to lean into this thing a little bit, and we'll see what she's made of. So glad to have you along for the ride. Let's go. There we go. Rewind, and there we go. Here we are at the job site. We're just pouring this deck on level 3 right across that way. We're going to show Mike how to engage the outriggers. I can already tell he's confused here. It's a little different. You want to know how to work the outriggers, sir?
No, there's a button there.
No, I said, do you want to know?
Yeah.
So here's a hint. There's no switch on the remote.
It's just a button.
I'll show you, yeah. On the newer ones, there's a switch on the remote. Okay, if you go on the panel, switch it to local, from radio to local. Okay, now you're local, right? We'll come over here all day.
Let me see if I can give you another radio.
That's okay, there's only one of us operating.
Yeah.
Pretty open.
It's gonna be a struggle for you today, isn't it, sir? So, hopper grade acknowledgement, accumulator, right? Your load up. Now, pull back on down and then run your levers. So on this side, we'll just use the square pads. On the other side, we got some dunnage. So I'll throw these other legs out and see where we land here. The front's got to go quite a bit. Good. Yeah, they got to torque the front pretty good on this side. Just saying to Mike, these short back outriggers, the only downfall is, and it's not specific to this machine, it's just the design in general. When you boom back across the back corner, it tends to lift the opposing front corner. So you want to put some good preload on it. So a little bit on this one. A little more, and some more on the front. A bunch more in the front. Good. We'll try that. But you'll see, even when we stretch out, it's probably going to pick that front foot up a few inches. All right. Boom out of the cradle, get a whip hose on, and get rocking and rolling here. Okay, You gotta go back to remote, you gotta flip your switch. The newer models have it on the remote. You don't have to do this from the panel. Or at least it's in the works for the newer models. Flip that switch. Come back here. Hit that one. And up and away we go. I always use the boom strap when traveling with these. Especially with a conventional Z or even more so a double Z boom. The boom tends to really kind of accordion during travel, so super critical to use that boom strap. As they say, up to 3/4 of structural boom cracking occurs from travel, not actually on the site pumping, but while driving, especially if the boom isn't secured down properly during travel. And we will be using the air cuff today. I was just saying, we will be using the air cuff today. Sorry, I'm just narrating, pardon me. One weird thing with this remote, the sticks get really close to that volume knob. You're trying to do some funky boom movements, or you're really getting after it. That volume knob does sort of get in the way. Not a big deal, but just one little thing I thought I'd point out. So we were just informed it's actually 180 cubic meters today, not the 100 I thought, so that's great. We're gonna really lean into this thing. The only crappy thing is we're only getting 30 meters per hour today, so Mike's admiring the double grate from factory. Great for filtering out chunks, bit extra work for keeping things clean. And we're gonna soak this down with the fanciest oil in town. Which, in case you haven't figured out by now or don't watch the channel regularly, this is the Alliance anti-stick oil, and I love this stuff. So I'll give this hopper a good soak on the inside and a little dousing on the back. Normally I would tarp the pump, but because we're doing a little bit of a video here today, I want to be able to showcase all the goings on mechanically with the pump kit and whatnot. So I'll just oil it for today. So Mike brought a bucket of bentonite. Good thinking, Mike. We'll let me stroke this over and forward a few times. Then we'll throw our bentonite in. Let's say reset the agitator because I lifted the grate up. Clean out at day's end here, right? Still undecided as to what I think of these gaskets. I don't know that they're really any easier or less easy to work with than the ZX O-ring style stuff on like the prime port cap and the back end. They're a little bit on the firm side, but I don't know, they're okay either way. Okay, Mike, load her up, bentonite in. Now if we plug up, it's your fault, sir.
Wait for the water out.
Oh. All right, here we go. Concrete has arrived. Concrete has arrived. We're just gonna prime our bentonite out into one of the wash pans. The wash pan over at that side of the pump. And we'll stretch out up onto the deck. They're still doing some construction on the deck, so I think we're just gonna burn these couple loads up into some beams while they finish buttoning things back up with the formwork. All right, here we go. Prime time. Beautiful stuff. Thick stuff, but beautiful stuff. Big rock, but lots of fines in it, lots of fluff. It's a nice mix. Look at that, there it is. We are through. Get up on the deck here now and pump some concrete. All right, pumping away. Quite a dry slump here. We're just doing, there's a beam integrated into the outer edge of the slab here. So we're gonna fill this beam and then jump back and start doing some slab fill. But yeah, the mix is real thick stuff. Yeah, I did. It's funny, it's like the volume is slow to increase. Like you turn the knob, it takes a while to get there. Interesting. There's a bit of a lag in the volume. You turn the volume up, it doesn't speed, it speeds up slowly. It's a little bit different. That's about a 4. I had it like a 5.5. And it was smooth, and then it started to kick. So it's like it progressively built up, but nice and smooth at a 4, and it's pretty decent flow. So give them a little more jam here. We'll go to 4.5. See what we get.
Any deeper mix for the stairs?
Yeah, I drag it into the stairs. Yeah, not bad. That's about all they're gonna get. I'm not getting any close to that crane because when he swings over this way, that mast will torque a bit. So I'll keep my got about a 1.5 foot distance off that crane mast. Okay, Mike's in the bullpen. He commented that the remote is really dirty. I pointed out that was from him earlier when he was making his 4-foot deep pile of concrete and splashing the operator at the time.
Why were you standing so close?
Because I like to be on top of things, right? You know why? Because I'm a rookie on this pump, and that's what you do when you're a rookie, you stand close.
To the pump, yes, but maybe not to the end of the hose.
Well, when you barely know how to run the controls, you do. When up is down and down is up and left is right, and well, left is still right and right is still right, so. But up is definitely down and down is definitely up. Old double Z. Old double Z dilemma. Yeah, no, pump that stuff is really thick. Pumps it nice. It's nice and stable and solid and smooth at this end. It's loud. I mean, the pump is definitely not a quiet pump, but she means business. She gets down, that's for sure. Anyhow, 2 loads in, 16 more to go. It will be dark when we wrap up here, unfortunately. Bit of a late start today. First time pouring a suspended deck with the double Z. It's actually pretty decent. You can roll in with that 4th section. You roll in a decent bit with your 3rd and quite a bit with the 4th. So, I mean, I definitely say an RZ configuration is better for suspended decks like this. But for super tight indoor type work, obviously the double Z shines, and that's kind of what this thing is really made for, being a 32 meter pump, right? We don't do a lot of suspended decks with a 38 meter or sort of 32. It's usually 38 meter or larger for this kind of stuff, but this one just so happened to reach today. Bang on. It's a good chance to get her out and stretch her legs a little bit. I'll let Mike practice here, and then he can take over the controls, and I'll be the camera guy. He's practicing. He needs that.
New configuration never really had.
So all of your training on it?
No.
Well, I'm training him because you know, he needs a little help.
Ah.
Yeah, you see it. You see how dirty that remote is? He did that.
Right.
Mike says he's gonna pour the slab like this. That looks like a guy who's been on the pump for his first day and he's lost and confused. The guy.
Now, in theory, okay, that's how high you want it, yeah?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And you bring it back.
I mean, no, it's a great theory. I just want to see you do it with the pump wound up, putting out 80 meters an hour. I think you're gonna bounce around. You're gonna bounce around a lot more like that. You're gonna do a lot more of this. I don't know. And now you're putting that pipe that sticks out further right on the crane mast. But
in the negative, isn't it? Like that.
No.
That last section.
No, not necessarily. No. For when you need it to be, yes. But no, I think what you're.
Now you've limited yourself to you only use 2 functions.
Yeah, basically.
Your 4th function and your main section. That's it. Right?
The way we were before, though, you could do. Oh God, it's just a losing argument. Okay, Zach Miller from Gordy's. Zach runs a 38 double Z Sany. Zach, is there any merit to what Michael is saying here? I think he's crazy, and he's just trying to bring. He's trying to be confrontational.
Okay, first day on your pump,
yeah.
You limit yourself to 2 functions, right? You pour something with 2 functions, make your life a lot easier, so you're not fooling around with all the other functions.
Yeah, but now instead of having a tip section that's relatively vertical for quick adjustments on the slab, now you're using your sections further back towards the pump, that if you make an error in a boom movement, it is amplified all the way out here, right? Keep the movement to the sections furthest away from the pump. Don't make an error. Okay, well, you heard it here first. Don't make an error. We'll get this all on camera. Feel sorry for your hose guy, sir. All right, here you go, hot shot. Show us how much better it is. Old 52 meter Putzmeister guys, those were double Z's. Would you ever run it like this on a slab? Honest feedback.
All the way down, or you were out there?
Not gonna lie, Mike, this is maybe the dumbest thing I've seen in a while. I don't. This is so bass backwards. But hey, whatever.
The problem with you boomers, afraid of change.
Yeah. I'm not a boomer. I'm a Gen Xer. Well, I guess maybe I'm what they consider the equivalent of a boomer now. I don't know. It works, but it's weird. You got the boom right down low where everybody's working. I don't know. I think it's weird. What do you think about the way he's running this boom?
The guy? About the guy?
No, just the formation. Have you ever seen anything like this?
Nope.
No? No, not him. I mean actual, the way the boom is laid out.
The difference is Beto is all facing.
Okay. Well, I feel sorry for the guy that's 8 feet tall. He's going to bonk his head on that fourth section. So. About a 4. I think we should have a contest. We each pump off one load, and the hose guy's not allowed to see who it is, and then we ask him at the end who was better. Which one? The first or the second one? I don't think you're gonna win running the boom like this, my friend.
Yeah, it doesn't look very prosperous right now.
No, it's got a lot of, right? Oh yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's not bad, but you know, back in the day in the Putzmeister manual, it said to always keep your tip section horizontal, because then the concrete wouldn't wear out the tip elbow as fast because it wouldn't fall, and the boom wouldn't bounce as much. It would rock instead of bounce. I don't think anybody in history ever followed that direction, but except for today. It's not terrible, it definitely bounces more like this stuff. Okay, so here's Mike's way. Notice how much that's bouncing. And he actually got a nice wet slump here. See how much movement there is in that boom? Say off the front corners, this is very stable coming off the front end. Back outrigger leg hasn't budged a bit. And we haven't had to readjust anything. Is definitely loud. Could use some rubber dampening or bushings or something. Highly effective, but loud. We're gonna have to hit this thing hard with some of the Legion concrete remover at day's end. I oiled the crap out of it. It's not really sticking. I would like to tarp this, but because we're doing these demo videos, somewhere where it's not so noisy, because we're doing these demo videos, I want to kind of keep everything exposed so we can monitor it, showcase it, etc., etc. So. Anybody wondering, for today's action, today's cleanup action, we're going to use the 7.5-inch sponge, which has been pretty clutch for cleaning out this harsh mix back end kit, which doesn't reduce down to 5-inch and fill all the way up here. So you got a bunch of 6-inch gear all the way back to the hopper. This larger 7.5-inch sponge does a great job of wiping all that clean. So what we're gonna do, we'll suck that one back second. Oh, good, got that one roll down the block. And the first sponge, we've got this 6-inch cube. So we'll suck this back first. We'll use our pin stopper to stop it, and then we'll follow it up with the second guy. Classic sponge water sponge. You know how we like to do it around here. Cylinders on this thing are absolutely massive, which is what allows it to be a decent high-rise pump. Lots of power to push that valve over. You can see as we start to stretch over that back corner, she definitely gets a little light. Once Mike's got this one of these trucks empty, I might get him to stop for a second. I'll readjust the outriggers. Which means we got to bypass this here. Mike to stop the pump, and I'm going to adjust this thing. You can see how much it's bouncing around just because that little bit of float. So when Mike is ready, I'll switch it over to local panel and we'll adjust these legs a bit. Mike's going to stop the pump. I'm going to make an adjustment. Okay. Should go in outrigger mode. Oh, my bucket fell off. That's why it won't. Okay, got my bucket back on. Okay. So cinch that one down a bit. I'll bring this back one up a bit. I think that's about all we can do without our hopper being up too high in the back. Maybe we'll go up a little bit higher on that back leg. try that. Adjusting my outriggers. Throw it back into remote mode for Mike.
Don't like the pump? You like the pump?
I do overall. I'm still getting to know it though, so. All right, couple of adjustments and we're rock solid. It'll be interesting to see when we get right over that back leg, the short back leg there, if it starts to get light again. I would anticipate that it will. But that's kind of the thing with these outriggers that are incorporated into the full length of the pump structure. There's so much more twist and torque. You know, we'll tighten that one up so that when we stretch off that back corner, it doesn't lift this leg. But now we go off the front corner, and it's probably going to get light on this leg. I don't know. I could be wrong in saying that. So you can't really get, or it's tough to get a full 4-leg set where you can do a 360 and nothing picks up, versus like a true X-frame style pump with outriggers, all 4 of them tied into the pedestal. You're not relying on the frame structure of the pump and to resist all that torsional twisting force from the pedestal all the way back to the structure where those legs pop out. So the other advantages, super easy to set up in tight spots. There's definitely some advantages to it, but as far as stability, I still prefer a true X frame. So they both have their pros and cons. The problem we have here today is the tires are now off the ground and our hopper's almost too high for the mixer, so we can only level this up so much. Okay, that's way better now. The pump's not floating around at all. Now it's rock solid. Just a little adjustment there. Guys that run the 32 meter Double Z Alliance, the newer generation one that has the shorter rear outriggers. I know their older generation had longer legs on the back, telescoping legs, but they came out about 3 feet further. Well, the new generation, it's been out for the last 4 or 5 years with the shorties. Do you guys find the same thing when you're setting up? Does it have a real tendency to pick up the non-working side front outrigger? I believe their 4-section 33 meter Z-boom uses the same short rear riggers. What do you guys find? Is it a bit of a challenge to get it to lay flat when you're stretched right over the back corner? I don't think it's inherent to this machine. We had an older Putzmeister back in the day that had these short rear legs, and it was the same thing. All right, back up top. I don't know, we're about 8 loads in now. Mike has reverted back to a more sensible boom position. What happened to your boom position there?
I just can't get it that way right now. But
you can admit.
once we stop, I'll do it. Yeah.
You can admit it was a bad idea. It's okay. We don't judge.
Actually, now that the outriggers are level, let's
Oh
try.
my, no. Just give it up. Just let it go, man. Let it go. I think I got a song about this. Let it go, let it, or something like that. I don't know. That's from the Frozen soundtrack. Let it go. Right? I will not try and sing that. You know what really gets me? I think he's already better on this pump than I am on this pump.
Oh,
See how
Mike.
smooth he is? You see that? Look at him.
He's old. His eyes don't work properly. Like,
I mean,
it's all hand-eye
Actually,
coordination.
I didn't notice though.
those are both valid points.
No, I didn't notice.
You didn't
Same
notice?
thing.
No, you weren't running the hose when he was running the boom.
Yeah, you didn't have
It's
to.
all over the place.
No, but you also didn't run the hose when he had the boom in that stupid
No, with
formation.
Mike,
Yeah.
See, he came onto the boom and I actually took over, right?
Just take the win, take the W. The dagger's in there. You don't have to break it off and work it around. You know, he's doing okay. I'm just here to coach the boom formation. You know, I'll tell you what to do. All right, we got this boom pretty much flat out now. Just about flat out. It was flat out to get to that corner there. And it did pick up that front outrigger just a hair more, but not nearly what it was doing earlier. So yeah, adjusting those riggers, tightening up that back corner, countering on the front corner there. It seemed to do the trick, I would say. If you're wondering why there's so many bodies up here, it's because they're still building. So we're kind of chasing these guys to the finish. Oh, we're sitting around waiting on concrete here. Perfect opportunity to appreciate the quality of this machine. It is nice, clean, tidy machine work and welds on the boom. Yeah, overall, I'm very impressed with how well this thing is put together. How's that for a reach? Dang on perfect. From corner to corner. Not gonna lie, a lot of that was luck. A little bit of skill, but a whole lot of luck. Here, Mike, you're on the camera. The screen will go black, but it's still rolling. Show them how the boom is run properly.
You want to turn it up a little bit, or like?
You know how slow I'm pumping?
Yeah.
There's only one truck, man. I pump as fast as they can supply. Right? I don't want to be hard on the equipment.
You're bouncing just as much as me pumping.
Oh,
at 30%.
Oh, please. Here, hold on. Oh, there we go. Oh, there. I didn't think I heard the pipe slapping when you were pumping. Hear how they're slapping when I'm pumping?
You got,
I got a wet load. I greased the driver at 20.
yeah.
The boom's pretty good though. I mean,
Oh yeah, I think it's great. Yeah, it's fine.
the controls could be fine-tuned a little bit more. It's a little bit quick to raise up on the main and a little bit slow to come down on the tip, but overall it's pretty good.
And we're not like pumping crazy quick either.
You know what though? Don't forget, it's a 10-inch material cylinder. So we're actually pumping at a pretty good clip. It just doesn't seem like it. It's a little bit deceiving. I bet they were doing like 80 meters an hour right now.
Yeah. I can't believe that. Front outrigger made it's like sunk down a half inch.
Oh, on the dunnage side, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I think we put all that timber down. Can you imagine a guy rolls in here and throws just a square pad down on that?
Yeah.
Right? You wonder how it should happen.
Why?
They're making you guys go the whole thing.
No, just the parts where I'm running the pump. Because I'm like pretty good looking, right? Like,
Alright.
I just did most of the work.
Yeah, you don't seem convinced.
They're gonna hear this, right? The guy's gonna be like, keep your day job, bro.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Look at the cracks in the sidewalk. All that settlement around the dunnage. There's some really funky ground around here. That's why we put out the huge dunnage. Like I was saying to Mike up top. Imagine you come down here and you set up and you just throw down the little square pad on something like this. You never know. You never know how washed out this is underneath. That's why we always dunnage up for the worst case scenario. And normally we wouldn't even put that much down. It's just we know the conditions here. We've been working on this site from the start, so we go way overboard. Out here on the street, not nearly as concerned. A couple of the nice Dyka pads down, we're good. But anything on the sidewalk, heavy. And yes, because of the slope here to the road, we're not dead nuts level. to the bubble here. We're sitting at right around 2 degrees, but we're well within our 3 degrees of level parameters, so all is good. All right, so we're just waiting on Mud. They're finishing off their formwork, so they slowed the supply down. So I got Mike with the pump there, and I've run to grab lunch. Now, what do we grab? Do we grab Church's chicken? That we're grabbing Church's chicken, or do you go to Subway? What do you do? I'm gonna carry on down to Subway. So I eat that fried chicken. It's gonna be a whole world of regret following. I mean, this looks pretty good too. Oh man, I love me a samosa. But no, Subway. It's gonna be Subway today. Hold on. Afterthought here. Or do we just go into Timmy's and do we grab a chicken habanero wrap? JT, what would you do? What would you do? There she is. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go to Subway and we'll grab Timmy's on the way back. Yeah. All right, there she is. 10 city blocks later, we have arrived. Better be worth it. Don't lie, it's kind of like a concert in here. Tune's just cranked. All right, just got back from our Timmy's run. Black coffee for myself, something special for Mike. What do you think we got, Mike? Oh, you know. The infamous honey cruller. And we gotta get this up to him. Hey. I got you something. How's it going? This is precious cargo. I don't trust your throw. Oh no! It caught too much air. The freaking cruller, it's too light. The thing's like trying to throw a wiffle ball. Okay, we'll try this again. Are you ready? Hey, winner! Open it up, see what I got you. You like those, right? He does. Oh, at least somebody does. See, that's what a good guy I am, you know? Guy's working a long day, you help him out with a honey cruller. It's the right thing to do. All right, so while Mike's up there doing his thing, running the pump, I just kind of get myself a little bit more familiar with this machine. I was looking around at what we've got for tool kit and accessories that are included, and it's quite extensive. So we have got, I'm assuming those are like roadside flares. Yep. I got an O-ring here. I think this is for, I think that's for part of the high pressure back end kit. It's kind of a funky gasket here. I don't know what this is. It's like a 4-inch gasket. Yeah, maybe it's a 5-inch. Here's some more. Here's the 5-inch swivel gaskets. Oh, you know what? What are the black ones? The black ones I don't know. There's 2 different types. Anyhow, a bunch of gaskets, some extra clamps, a sponge ball. But I was really impressed with the toolkit. So not only do you get the Putzmeister toolkit, right? With the famous pliers that don't ever last more than a year before breaking. These are like the shittiest pliers ever known to the human race. So there's your standard Putzmeister toolkit. A couple little extra pieces, right? It is a relatively equipped toolkit. And then they go one step further and They give you this Sany toolkit, which has, what do we got here? Okay, some big Allen keys. Some more wrenches. Grease gun. More wrenches. What I thought was really cool, they gave you a huge crescent wrench. I'm gonna say this is for the S-tube nut, this one here. This here looks like, is this gonna be some sort of emergency kit, maybe to bypass your local panel? Got some electrical connectors, like an emergency stroke change, or maybe it just bypasses the main panel altogether. Emergency valve harness. I'm thinking that's stroke change. Got an extra filter here. I got a bunch of documentation in here, the user's manual and whatnot. Looks like a filter wrench. Right. In the cab, we had a couple things too. We've got, I'm gonna assume, yeah, filter, maybe another filter of some sort, and this looks like the umbilical, the hardwire. Yeah, the hardwire for the backup remote is what this is. So anyhow, yeah, it is quite extensive, and the thing I'm most impressed with, honestly, is a huge ass crescent wrench for those big hydraulic lines. I'm a big fan of having a huge crescent wrench and or massive pipe wrench on board the pump. So anyhow, that's what they give you, pretty extensive. Oh, and a sledgehammer, can't forget that. So there you go, good job, Sany. But wait, there's more. A whole bunch of hydraulic lines. Oh, there's actually a water hose in here too. But extra hydraulic lines, water hose, a huge bag of hydraulic fittings. Holy crap. And fuses, some miscellaneous relays, things like that. So yeah, comes with a lot of extra stuff. Oh, and all the skateboard tape, because I've been complaining about how slippery it is up on the decks because there wasn't enough skateboard tape. Well, they gave us a whole roll here too, so that makes sense. Apparently when they're from the factory, they normally install this stuff, but because this was a demo unit, it's I guess it missed that part of the process. All right, just this last little sliver here.
Even if I call 3 meters at the end,
Another half a load or so. Guys are getting the finish on the first couple loads. It has been relatively slow setting stuff. Mike's just going to jump around the other side of the crane here. We've done the back and forth about a half a dozen times today. Yeah, we'll swing over, we'll puke this in, pump this thing out, have some fun with my fancy cylinder sponges. I look forward to that. And you should too. You're gonna love it. I promise. I promise. Just pull our guy ahead here and pump back into him. I'll show you a trick. So it's got 720 rotation, so 360 off of either side. When you've done 360 off of one side, you try and go beyond the hopper to the other side, the horn will honk. So you can do a bypass. I'll show you where it is. forced rotation. So it'll go beyond center. Otherwise, it'll get to center and your horn will just start going nuts. The only thing with that is if you're going to work all the way back around, you can tear the hydraulic lines out. Right? They'll let you do more than 2 rotations. The reason it stops is it so theoretically you can never get to a job site and be wrapped around the same side twice and be screwed. You'd have to come all the way back around again and then beyond that to rip the lines out. But anyhow, we'll drop the lid down here and pump out. Pin down. I got you a bucket of water right here. Okay. First sponge will be the 6-inch cylinder. To pull that one first because once it gets to, oh, we'll get it going back here first. Once it gets back to here, it doesn't completely seal this pipe and you don't lose all your vacuum for pulling that second sponge. The 7.5-inch sponge, by the time it's back here, it basically blocks all this off and it restricts your vacuum. So 6-inch first, 7.5 second. You're there. To be honest, a round ball would work fine on the first round too. The 7.5-inch cylinder on the second round is the one that really gets the pipes minty. Slower on the second round. With that thing being so large and squeezed in there so tight, it does an awesome job of wiping all the pipes and elbows out, and even this 6-inch stuff at the back of the pump. So in our testing here, we've been at this for about 2 weeks now. It looks like the 7.5-inch and the 6-inch, the 2 sizes that we use today, I think those are going to be the ones. For guys that only suck back 1 sponge, I would say to use the 7.5, unless you have a boom that has 4.4, 4.6-inch boom pipe on it, then maybe you want to use the smaller sponge, the 6-inch. But I think the hot ticket for 2 sponge guys is a 6-inch or just a round ball and follow it up with a 7.5 cylinder. That 7.5-inch cylinder is money. We tried the 8-inch and it would work fine on this boom because it doesn't have any tight radius 90-degree elbows. But booms that do, it has a little bit of a tough time getting through those tight radius 90s. So 7.5-inch cylinder is the one, and I will keep you posted. But I believe Putzmeister is looking to put these into production pretty soon. That's Putzmeister, Germany. As soon as I got a part number, as soon as I know where you can get them from, I will pass that information along, because a lot of folks have reached out and have been asking about it. So anyhow, that's our day with the Sany. We finally got it out and actually got to do some decent volume of concrete through the boom, see how the boom reacts in terms of bounce, etc. And it's quite impressive. We'll fold up, pack up, wash out, and maybe Mike and I'll we'll do a little outro here. We'll get Mike's thoughts on the pump before we head on out, so stick around for that. As mentioned there at the start of the day, we've loaded up our spray bottle with the Legion Chemicals concrete remover. We give the back end a little mist with this stuff and then hit it with a pressure washer to get rid of the day of splatter. Give it a little spray here. Wish the lighting were a little bit better, but a little spray and then we'll just hit it with a pressure washer. She's good to go, good for the next day. All that day of stuff, gonzo. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, that's it. That's the day. 180 meters in. Mike ran the boom most of the time. I ran it part of the time. No sugar coating. What do you think? What do you think of the Sany pump?
That's good. Good. Small little boom. Yeah, I mean, we got to tighten up the speed a little bit on the boom, but other than that, pump fine. Everything was fine about it. Can't complain.
I think the pump kit is quite good. I like the pump kit. The only things I don't like are just little weird things, just little weirdnesses, and it's just because they're different from a Putzmeister and different from what we're used to. I don't like the hopper grate flips forward instead of back. I don't like that I've got to switch the outriggers on the panel instead of just doing it from the remote.
Which will be fixed.
Yeah, they were actually on the updated models. They are changing that. They've already changed the hopper grate that flips from the back. I'm not super crazy about the hopper lid that's on it, because it's not really, you get a lot of splatter around it and it drips down. I mean, it works well. These are like total first world problems. You're probably lucky to even have a lid, but just comparing to the Putzmeister, just little things, but overall functionality, I think that pump kit is actually really good. It's pretty handy having the short little rear outriggers, although you do end up having to do some adjustment when you're booming flat off the back corners. The 720-degree rotation is pretty awesome. There's a lot of well thought out features to it. The pump kit is smooth. It's actually surprisingly smooth, considering
it pumped pretty good. Like the mix is pretty sticky today, and it pumped awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely like a prime mix for boom bounce. Real sticky, thick stuff, and the boom's nice and stable. But yeah, for how hard it shifts at the back, it actually is very calm at the end of the hose. So overall, no, I do quite like it. Like I said, it's just little things. But I mean, even if I was to jump on like a swing pump, there would be little things just because it's different. It doesn't mean that it's better or worse, it's just different. That being said, it's not a Putzmeister, because Putzmeister is the best concrete pump of all time, undisputed. But did my truck just fired up? Oh, my Bluetooth was going off in the F-150. That was my ringer. Well, that means the video's over. Anyhow, you know, it goes till next time. One of these, one of those. Keep on pumping. Buy a t-shirt from the store. Christmas is coming up. You know what? If I do a burnout in the Whipple F-150, will you buy a hat or t-shirt? Oh, you will? You will, right? Okay, we'll do a burnout. I'll get Mike to record a little burnout here. But you got to buy a hat or a t-shirt, because I'm gonna have to pay for new rear tires. So yeah. Oh God.